All right, so welcome everybody to another Movement Monday where we'll be doing some more chair Pilates. Today you will need a hand towel. I've got a hand towel about this size, so you can see that size there. The reason why we only want a hand towel today is so that, like, if you're using a beach towel or a bigger towel, we don't want anything that's too heavy that you're holding on to that will kind of like curl us forward or cause any sort of form or alignment to be compromised. So a hand towel will be needed for today. If you see me coming and going back and forth between the screen and my stool, that's just to let everybody else in for the class as they're coming in for the class, so don't be alarmed by that. Introduction, so sorry, my name is Bri Rhea. I'll be the one teaching your class today. I've been teaching for Pilates for about 4 years now. It'll be 4 years next month. And the amount of learning that I just keep doing is still like so inspirational for me to keep giving you guys that knowledge of moving your body. So going off of that, please be sure that you are listening to your body so that when you are moving, if something doesn't feel right, if it's painful, if it's uncomfortable, there is a difference between like hurting pain and like working pain. Okay, so I don't like using the word pain, but let's stay away from that hurtful pain and going more towards working pain of like I'm working so much that there's almost like a burn in my muscles because it's working the way that it should. Okay, so another thing with the body, we always want to make sure that we're not just like flailing through the movements. The purpose of this class today is to connect the mind to the body. So we always want to make sure that, like if I'm telling you to reach your hand out, it's almost like you're moving through honey or quicksand or like really thick almond butter. Okay, so you have to create that resistance. Of course, we'll be using the prop of your hand towel today, so there will be some resistance that you will either be like pulling back against yourself with or pushing back against yourself with. Those are just examples. Have some water nearby, listen to your body, and if you have any questions, submit them into the chat box, and I'll try to see them and answer them as we go. All right, so let's have some fun. So we will need your towel kind of wrapped around itself, so like a burrito. So instead of rolling it short ways like this, or even long ways like this, there's actually a third way that you can roll it, and it'll make it even longer. So I want you to take one of the corners of your towel and start to roll it diagonally down the towel, okay? Just going back and forth, getting everyone in. All right, so once you've rolled up that towel, you've got a nice long burrito, okay? So something like this. So what we're going to do is place that behind your back, right kind of where your rib cage is at the middle of the back, and then grab the tail ends with your hands, okay, with the palms up and the thumbs out, okay? So this is going to help with our breathing to start off. So we always want to make sure that we're breathing correctly. If you can breathe all of the air in through the nose, try that. And as you exhale out through the mouth, what do we notice within the body? Keep going with that same breath. I'll kind of give some cues as we go. We want to try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears, and that inhalation breath is you'll feel the towel kind of, or your ribs pushing back into that towel. So you take that big breath in, and as you exhale out, notice how the ribs sort of pull away from that towel. As you're continuing with that breath, it helps us to not only bring some more air, some more oxygen into the body, but it also helps to oxygenate our brain so we can think more clearly, so we can get that connection to the body.
But that it's almost like you're trying to stack the spine up against.
So you inhale to lift the top of the head up. And as you exhale, try to keep all of that length that you just found. Okay. So let's do a couple more breaths, just 3 more big inhales in through the nose. And exhale out to mouth. Your hands are kind of trying to push the towel forward without your body going with it. So you're also trying to like push back against that towel. You're giving yourself your own resistance. One more inhale in. Expand through the rib cage and exhale out through the mouth. All right, so let's keep that towel there. Let's also make sure that you're not like death gripping the towel, okay? So you're just got a light handle on it. So now we work into what's called our cat and cow. So the elbows stay tucked in towards the side. As you inhale, let the towel now pull your chest forward and up. Maybe even bring the gaze up if that feels good for you. Exhale, let your chin tuck down towards your chest and push your rib cage back into that towel. Okay. Inhale, gently lift the chest forward. So you're letting the towel win to pull your chest up and your gaze travels up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, pushing the rib cage back, drawing the belly button towards the spine, pulling the ribs down towards the hips. And then inhale again, one more time. Inhale into your cat. That was your cow. And then exhale, arch the back like a cat. Okay, and then sit up nice and tall. We're going to bring that towel now out in front of us. Grab the tail ends between your hands or about shoulder width apart. So I've got some little tails on the end now. Okay, so about shoulder width apart. And as you inhale, again, we're trying to keep that length in the spine. So think about if you've got some like suspenders between your hips and your ribs, you're trying to lengthen them out. As you exhale, let's start with a little bit of a twist towards the right and keep the middle of the towel right in front of your heart. Inhale, bring back to center. And then as you exhale, go to the left side. And we're trying to look and watch and pay attention to maybe which side feels a little tighter, maybe a little harder to push out against or to twist into. As you're moving with the breath, exhale to one side, inhale to center. Exhale, try not to slump down into your twist or drop out of your height that you've been able to keep. Inhale back towards center. Okay, now paying attention to your feet, make sure that the knees aren't swaying side to side with you. And even if you have something like a little pillow or maybe a yoga block, you could place that between your legs to kind of give you a little bit of feedback to make sure that your legs aren't actually moving as you twist. Okay, so that's just a little tip there. Let's do one more to the left. And then as you inhale center, go ahead and lower those hands down into the lap. Roll out the wrist a couple of times. So ladies, kind of like you're showing off your rings or you just got your nails done. Okay, and as you're rolling out those ankles, your arm ankles, you can kind of like pull in and out, or imagine you're doing like a breaststroke and you're moving through that honey, that quicksand, that thick almond butter. Okay, and now let's switch directions. So you're going to pull in, reach around, and this is kind of like a butterfly stroke. So just warming up the shoulders here, getting them ready to go as we start to lift and lower our arms. Okay, keep going. All right, so now from there, let's reach the arms up overhead. You're going to grab onto your right wrist and then pulling yourself towards the side. Let's keep the right hip down towards the chair as your right rib cage lifts up away from the chair. Lift back up. Very slow, very focused, very intentional with the movement. Switch your grip. Left wrist holding onto it as you pull it to the right side of your body. As the left hip stays down, just take a couple of breaths here, noticing how when you inhale, the rib cage expands open. And then bring yourself back up again. Okay? So now rolling those wrists out. If everyone feels okay to grab onto that towel again, just make sure you're not death gripping the towel, because that'll get into those wrist muscles there and it'll tire it out pretty quickly. So now grab onto that towel. You're going to start with the towel kind of pushed forward, okay, like you just did some washboard laundry. So push that towel forward, arms are long, gaze is forward, spine is tall. Try to draw the navel, the belly button in towards the spine. Not that we're trying to like sink back, but that we're trying to lift up. Okay, now from there, exhale to lift the arms up as high as you can without lifting the shoulders up towards the ears. Inhale to lower back down. As you exhale to lift the arms, try to lower the shoulders. And I know it sounds so oxymoronic, like backwards almost, to say lift to lower, okay? You lift the arms to lower the shoulders. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now, while you're lifting this towel up overhead, you're also trying to make sure that you're trying to like pull it apart, give it a little bit of a pull there, okay? And then lower back down. Let's try that 2 more times. Exhale, pull the towel up as the shoulders go down. So this is not what we want. We want to keep that neck nice and long. Lower down 1 more time, and then we'll keep that towel up to your height. So for me, my height before I lose that shoulder connection is right about there. So it doesn't have to be overhead. But now that it's over or to your height that you can maintain, you're trying to drive the left hand down, right arm up. There's your side bends again. And then lift back up and over to the other side. So now that we've got something in between our hands, notice that the hand that's going down is kind of pulling as the hand that comes up is also trying to pull. So let's try to keep the head between the arms, okay? So we want to make sure that the head isn't just kind of resting on the arm, but it's like a picture-in-a-picture frame. You don't want the picture off to the side of the frame. You want to see the whole thing. So let's keep the head in between the arms. If you can see your video, then that can kind of be like a good mirror for yourself. Let's go 1 more time to the right. And lifting back up. Okay, now let's bring that towel back down. Give yourself some shoulder shrugs now, okay, as you open up more mobility into the shoulders, or maybe rolling out the shoulders can help to like loosen up all that muscle engagement, rolling forward. All right, so now grab back onto your towel again. We add rotations with a little bit of a pull, okay? So think about your inner archer. I've always wanted to like be that person who like pulls back the bow, okay? So your right hand is going to pull the elbow back as your left hand sort of comes in front of the heart. And then inhale, bring those arms back out in front of you and switch to the other side. So we're not going to add rotation first. I just want you to feel the movement and how it pulls the shoulder blade back towards the midline of the body, like where the spine is. So that shoulder blade kind of scrubs across the rib cage as your elbow stays almost at shoulder height, and you push or punch back forward again, okay? So now I do want you to add some rotation. As you pull that left or right elbow back, try to watch where the hand goes. And then you punch it forward, and now watch where the other hand goes as it pulls back. And you rotate the spine from side to side, okay? If your shoulders are starting to feel maybe a little tired, what you can do is take an underhand grip, hold the towel like almost bare, like with the elbows bent position, and pulling yourself from side to side into that underhand grip, okay? Believe it or not, that's going to be what everyone is doing here in just a moment. Give me 1 more with that high row, if you're still there, from side to side, letting your rotation only pull the belly button, the heart, the head to one side, so not the legs or the hips. Okay, so now rest that the towel back down. Give yourself either some shoulder rolls or some wrist rolls, okay? And if your forearms are starting to feel maybe a little tighter or worked, some stretches that may be good for you are to like push or like show off your nails again, and then try to pull the hand back towards you, okay? So those will help with the wrist extensors, anything that helps to like pull your hand up, okay? And then from there, pull the hand up and pull those fingers back towards you, okay? Like you're telling somebody to stop, don't come any closer, and then pull those fingers back towards you, okay? And then switch it to the other side, show off your nails or your jewelry, left to fingertips down, pull the hand back, just gently. We don't need a lot. These are tiny muscles, and they're very like dexterous. Pull the fingers up, like you're telling somebody to stop, don't come any closer, and then pull those fingers back towards you, okay? So think about all the little tiny movements that your fingers can do. You write, you type, you text, all those things. Those are those muscles right here in the forearms, okay? So warming those up and then also using them helps us to do all of our daily life activities. All right, so now from there, we're going to take an underhand grip with your long burrito of a towel. Your palms are up, your elbows are in tight towards the side. We're going to start with some punches first. So now as you stack your spine, think about your head is lifting up towards the ceiling, like there's a puppet string pulling you up. We also want to make sure that we're not popping those ribs forward, but instead sinking the tailbone down, ribs caved in or pulled in, belly button towards the spine. Now from there, punch your right arm forward and really try to keep that left elbow next to the side. So don't let the arm come with you. As you're punching forward, that right elbow now stays in towards the side. So then pull back, and as you pull back, then pull out on that towel. Continue punching one arm forward at a time and pulling it back. And as you pull back, again, feel those shoulder blades squeezing together. So imagine you've got like a pencil in between your shoulder blades, and each time those elbows come back and in, you've got it holding in place. As you punch, exhale. As you pull, inhale. Okay, so these are great exercises to do to work on posture. Think about as those elbows are coming back, you're helping to keep that chest open. All of us, we're always like either, texting or eating or driving. We're in this constant position of just like closing off the heart instead of being lifted, opening the heart and using the back muscles to keep that good posture. Why are you talking about posture? It's so important for breathing. It's so important for moving. All right, so now from there, keep those elbows tight in. Think about hugging the ribs with your elbows, keeping the shoulders down the back. So even like roll them down and pull them down even further than you can. And with that right arm, it's like a tug of war now. Your right arm tries to pull the left arm with it and then bring it back towards center. Now it's the left arm's turn. Left arm pulls out to the side and back towards center. Continue switching from one arm to the next. And it's like you're doing a little, like you just got out of the shower and you're kind of like scrubbing the back of your body there, but this time the towel's in front. Okay, let's do like 3 more. This is great for your rotator cuffs. Very important for shoulder health and mobility. If this causes you any pain at all with the movement, let go of the towel and try to just move your hands through the movement. 1 more on the right and 1 more on the left. Place the hands down next to the side. Give yourself some shoulder rolls, some wrist rolls, maybe even some body rolls. Okay. Let it be a little moment of freestyle. Okay. Again, this is a moment or a session for you to find and connect the mind to the body. So as we're moving, just remember that like if a movement doesn't come to you or if it's a little harder to connect to one side versus the other, that connection, like find it, whatever you can get for today and go with it. Okay. Alrighty. So we are coming into some not sliders yet. We're going to take your towel now and fold it as tight as you can. So I'm going to fold it hamburger style again, and then hamburger style again. So even from this little towel, this little square piece, I'm going to try to fold it as tightly as I can. And then maybe, nope, doesn't go that one. Okay, so I've ended up with this little tiny, like thick towel burrito. I'm going to place that between my knees. Okay, and then walk the feet right underneath of the knees. And it's just enough pressure on that towel so you can start to feel, and you can even use your hands, but feeling that inner thigh engagement right between your thighs. So you're trying to hug in on that towel with your adductors, these adductor muscles. Okay, very good for balancing when we're walking around. So that towel is there to hug in place with between the knees, reaching the arms forward. And now as you exhale, it's like you're holding onto that towel. Let's find that row back where your elbow pulls back and you're watching where the hand goes. As you inhale forward, exhale and pull that left arm back. And inhale forward. The reason why we're doing this without the towel in our hands and the towel now between our knees is to not only keep the muscles working like they were before, it's kind of like not retraining them, but continuous training of them, continuous education, but now focusing on those adductors of your legs, making sure that your knees aren't moving, aka your hips are not moving, because if they were, what would happen is that this would start to happen. One knee will slide the towel back. You may even lose the towel like I just did. We're trying not to let that happen so that we are moving from the obliques, from the midline, from the deep core, okay? So let's do one more each side. One to the right, because we started on that side, and one to the left. All right, so now from there, take your hands down to the sides, lift and lower that chest into your cat, into your cows. And you can maybe even like move your body around, right? And now reaching those arms out to the side. From this inhale, it's like that puppet string is getting tighter and taller, pulling your spine long. As you exhale, let's flip the left palm up towards the ceiling, and like a cartwheel, you go down to the right side and up with the left hand overhead. Inhale, lift back up. Notice how you didn't fall off the chair. You're using your core. Palm on the right side lifts up. Your left hand goes down. If it does feel like you're about to fall off your chair, though, you can totally place your hand onto the chair like a little crutch or a kickstand and lift up from there. And you may notice that that does feel more secure, and you can also get a deeper stretch for yourself. As the arm is lifting up overhead, just make sure that that palm is up towards the ceiling and hugging that hand or arm into the ear. Let's do one more each side. So you're going to go to the right, and then one more to the left. All right, so now that we've got the upper body and the trunk kind of warmed up for us here, let's move on to the lower body. So now take that towel out, just kind of hold it into your hands, and start to butterfly your knees out and in a couple times. Okay, and you can even walk your feet wider and let those knees come in and out a couple times. Okay, and just noticing how with a different stance of your feet, you may feel different muscles kind of opening up. And now from there, kind of windshield wiper those legs side to side. And then as that right knee comes down, if it feels good in the knee and the hip and the ankle, try to gently like press that knee down, and you may start to feel like a front of the hip opening stretch, maybe going down and into those inner thighs. Keeping your spine tall, and then rotate yourself over to the other side, left knee down as you turn your body towards the right. Okay, holding on to whatever you may need to, the chair, maybe if your chair is near a wall, holding on to a wall. All right, okay, so then turn back facing forward. And with that towel now in its long position, you either have one in the opposite corner into your hand to make the towel just a little bit longer than it actually is, or you can totally like take the opposite ends of the towel. Either way, whichever kind of position you have, let's place the middle of the towel into the foot, and you're holding onto those tail ends. If your towel isn't long enough or you can't get your foot up into that strap, just straighten that leg out in front of you. Okay. Otherwise, that leg is in the strap out in front of you. Okay. My towel is a little short right now. I did take a shorter bind on the towel, but this is just to help like stretch and flex and point through the foot and the ankle to help open up that inner thigh, that hamstring, as well as the calf and the soleus. Okay, so that's in the towel, what that would look like. The leg is out in front of you. I want you to lean forward and continue pointing and flexing through that foot. Okay. Then switch it to the other side. I'm going to show you what it looks like if my towel were just a little bit longer. Okay, so notice how my leg isn't up as high, and that's just an extra 2 inches in that towel there. Okay, so as I'm holding that foot in place, pointing and flexing, trying to stay lifted and tall if you do have that towel into the hands, or even if your leg is down onto the ground, try to keep that spine position from hip to head. Okay, like you're pushing down on a gas pedal. Alrighty. So now you can make that towel, you can totally just put it on the ground, but I'm going to make it into a nice little square because that appeases to my little personality. That makes my OCD a little happy. So I'm going to move the rug out of the way, and that little square is now going to go onto the ground. So we're going to do some extra cleaning. With your right heel onto the towel, your left foot right next to it, okay, as if we were just sitting up nice and tall. Let's find that length in the spine. Take that big inhale to prepare. You're looking for those ribs are wrapped, your belly button is in, your pelvic floor is lifted, and as you exhale, stretch that leg out and slide the towel along the ground, and then pull that towel back in. Of course, if you do have a carpeted surface that you're kind of your chair is on, you can use your socks or your bare foot to just slide out in. That towel will give you a little bit more resistance if you want to use it on the chair. But now from here, as that leg is opening the gap between your hamstring and that calf, or you're just lengthening that leg, I want you to feel how as you pull in, you're also trying to drive that heel down. Do you feel any engagement happening under the leg, right where the hamstring is? Maybe put your hand there so you can feel that happening, okay? We've got about 5 more reps. These bigger muscle groups can get a little bit more rep count here. Again, listening to your body. If you feel any sort of overheated or need a drink of water, take the break. You got it. Last 3. All right, so now in 2, we're going to switch over to the other side. And maybe like that bottom part of the right leg is starting to feel it. So now switch it over. Right foot is on the ground. Left heel is on that towel. As you inhale the leg away and then exhale, pull back in. While all of this is happening, it looks as if the upper part of your body is a picture. That lower part of your body is a movie. Okay, so that left leg is just sliding out and then exhaling home. Now here's another little Pilates trick, is that the breath doesn't always matter, okay? So if you're getting like confused or like, oh my gosh, I did an inhale on that one when she said exhale, as long as we can keep that connection to the core, as long as we can keep the length of the spine, the alignment of the body, the connection to the muscle, and your breathing, that's all I care about, okay? Then you're golden after that. Let's go for about 3 more. And then we'll go back to that right side, okay? Last 2. And then after that last one, you're going to slide that right foot back onto your slider. And we're going to add some rotation. So now find your genie arm. So it's like a genie is about to wish your three wishes, grant your 3 wishes. And as we slide that leg out, you stay looking forward. But as you slide it in, can we twist to the right? Okay, so that felt good. I exhaled on that twist. That felt good for my body. Okay, but it may feel different for yours. So it may be that you exhale the leg out and maybe you inhale it in. Okay, and you can totally experiment with how these different breaths feel for you. If holding those arms out in front of the body doesn't feel right for your shoulders, leave them down by your side, but still try to like twist your body. You may even cross the arms across the heart. You got about 4 more. And then we switch to the left side. In 3. Remember, try to keep that length in your spine for 2 more. And then after that last one, remember, soften the shoulders. And sometimes as I'm cueing you, these are reminders for myself as well. Slide that slider over to your left foot. Hands are either across the chest or you're still in those genie arms position. If you would like more of a challenge, the challenge would be to hold the arms out to the side. So here's how it looks from the side. Inhale the leg out. Exhale, twist the body around. Now, why is this harder? Because the arms or your levers from the body got a little bit longer. The longer the lever, the heavier or the more challenging the movement, okay? And this is, again, I'm just telling you this not only so that I can just hear the sound of my own voice, but to teach you guys that this is movement for life, okay? This is movement for you to connect to, for you to explore and see like, does this feel good for my body or does that feel good for my body? Okay, and these are all movements that we do in life too. So think about when you're looking back behind you, if you have to change lanes while you're driving your car. Of course, your hands aren't in front of you and you're not genie arming it or crossing or even reaching out to the side. But what we're doing is we're training the body, got about 3 more, to turn from the obliques of your core instead of compromising the spine or the shoulders or even the hips. Last 2. And then after that last one, let's place those hands onto the thighs. And it's like you're going down to pick the towel up. So we'll take about 4 of these roll downs. But you want to inhale the spine tall. And as you exhale, it's like there's a big beach ball under your belly. Try to lift the belly up to roll your body down. Again, there's another oxymoron right there. It sounds so backwards. And then as you inhale, lift the body up and stack the spine tall. Okay, we go down as you lift up. Pull away the belly button from the thighs. Try to find that length in the back of the body. Inhale back up. Exhaling to go down, to pull the back of the ribs up towards the ceiling and behind you. Inhale back up. All right, so now on this 4th time that you go down, go ahead and pick up that towel. And then lift yourself back up again. Awesome. All right, so we're going to take that towel, wrap it up into a long burrito. And then holding it out in front of you. If you do have any, again, shoulder pain with like holding out in front of you, you can totally take an underhand grip, and that may feel better in your shoulders and your neck. So again, feel it out, explore it. You're going to hold it out in front of you so that when you lift your legs up, you kind of tap that towel with the top of your thighs and knees. So we stack the spine tall, looking forward. Exhale, lift the leg, and it's totally okay if it doesn't come all the way up to the towel. Lower the towel down to the knees, okay? Maybe it has to be just like an inch above the knees, but I want you to feel the sort of resistance of the towel, almost like you're crossing the finish line and you're trying to break the towel in place, okay? So we're strengthening those hip flexor psoas muscles so that when we work on, we're not going to work on that in class today, but when we work on like standing tall or moving and walking forward, that those muscles from the core and the hips are strong enough to do so. Okay, we got 2 more each side. Exhale, maybe lift that leg and then place it back down, or maybe inhale and lift the leg and place it back down. Again, trial and error. What works for your body? How can you connect to your body? All right, so now that towel, I'm going to take an overhand grip for myself here, but now that towel is going to reach out in front of you a little higher, about chest level, and as you exhale or inhale, I want you to lift the left leg. Let's twist towards the left and pull the left hand as that right hand is also trying to like pull back. And again, it's that tug of war. Lower the leg down, look forward. We continue twisting as you lift that leg to the other side, and lowering the foot and twisting back center. Lift the leg, twist the body. Try to keep yourself from hinging back and forth. Again, that was a cue for myself. I can see myself in the video kind of leaning back. It's okay if you lean back, but what that does is it makes it a little easier for you, okay? Easy is fine, but are you coming to the class to just like go through the motions, or are you doing this class for yourself to challenge yourself to make sure that you are getting all of the movement patterns down so that your muscles, your body, your brain can help you with your activities? We've got 1 more to the left. And 1 more to the right. Oh, those twists always feel so good. All right, so now let's open up the side bodies. Place that towel just on the lap for a moment. Reaching your right arm up and your left hand stays down onto the chair. Okay, so if you need to like move your booty over a couple inches, you can do that. But from there, we're going to reach over towards the left side. And in that position, you're trying to like pull your body towards the right side of the room. Okay, you're trying to lift your body up from the left side of the room. And now from there, rotate and tap your right hand onto the outside of your left knee. Inhale, lift that arm back up, and then place it back down next to your side, okay? So that was the movement here. It's a side bend plus a rotation. Inhale, up. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Exhale, over. Tap the outside of your left knee. Inhale, back up again. Bring that arm up towards the ceiling, and then bring it down by your side. 2 more on this side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate, look down towards the ground and tap the left thigh or knee, and inhale, reaching back up like you're pulling back the curtains and you're like, oh, what a beautiful morning, even though it's cold outside. Lift up, inhale, exhale, rotate down. Last one. Try to find all that space from the right hip to the right shoulder, and then lift and rotate up. And then place that hand back down. If you need to scoot yourself over to the other side, so now your right hand stays down onto your chair. You inhale that left arm up, create that space in the rib cage, but not so much in the shoulder. So watch that the shoulder doesn't stay up by the ear. Keep it down, and then lift away into that side bend. Rotate towards the right as you touch the right knee, and then inhale back up again. Lift and lower. Sometimes I hear my own cues and I'm just like, lift and lower. What does that mean exactly? Do what feels right for you. Okay, that's how I answer that question. Lift and lower. So when I say lift, I think I mean lifting that arm up into that out of that rotation, then lowering it back down out of that side bend. Okay, one more here. Lift that arm up, side bend over towards the right like a rainbow. Exhale, rotate down, touching the right side of the knee, inhaling, reaching back up, and bringing it back down by the side. Those mermaid stretches always feel so lovely. All right, so now we work in what's called C-curve, okay? So if you have any sort of low back pain, please stay out of the C-curve and instead do Hinge Back. So let me rewind a little bit. We're going to do Hinge Back first, okay? So Hinge Back means that straight spine, that tall spine that we've been trying to find this whole class and maintain this whole class is going to lean back and then pull forward, okay? So right now, hands are just onto the thighs. That towel is still across the lap here. Inhale and lean back. And remember, think about that puppet string. Pull the puppet string towards where the ceiling and the wall meet, that little corner right there behind you, and lift your body back up again. Maybe it's an inhale, maybe it's an exhale that feels right for you. We are trying to open the front of the hip space without opening the front of the rib cage space, if that makes sense, okay? So from here, my hip, the angle of my hips are opening, but I'm not popping those ribs forward or dumping into my low back. We want to keep the suspenders from hips to ribs closed, and the suspenders from like the opening of the hips opening. I don't know if that made sense, but it did in my head. Inhale back up, maybe exhale back up. Reaching back, so this is our Hinge Back, okay? So just kind of bookmark this feeling, and let's work through C-curve, okay? So if you do have any of that low back pain or any disc problems, stay out of your C-curve, and that C-curve is like your spine is trying to make the letter C, okay? So inhaling back up, and it's like maybe you're trying to like pull away from somebody trying to poke you in the belly. You lean back into that C, and then lift, that puppet string lifts you back up again. So maybe it's that puppet string that feels like it's getting slack in the line, and then you lift back up again, okay? So we want to, the difference between like slumping into your C-curve and then lifting back up again, like it kind of looks like we're twerking, we don't want that. What we want is that we're pulling from the deep core to try to lengthen the back of the body, okay? And again, try to resist the urge to round the shoulders forward, but instead keep the heart lifted and the chin up as you C-curve that lower part of your abdominal, okay? And then lifting, stacking that spine tall. So if C-curve does cause you any problems, you're still just working on your Hinge Back, okay? Maybe noticing that you're able to feel the connection or maybe come down a little deeper. If the chair that you're sitting on has a back to it, you can kind of touch the back of your chair with the back of your body. Okay, so give a little kiss and then come back up. Do it one more time. Exhaling into that C-curve, feeling that the hips are trying to pull up towards the ribs and then lift back up. So now here's where we come with the towel, okay? Remember, with the towel, we want to keep just a little bit of tension. You're not death gripping it, and you're also not trying to like break it completely apart, but you've got a little bit of a pull there, okay? Now here's how it looks from the side. You're either working in your hinge back or your C curve. You should know at this point which feels best for your body. If not, feel it out. Okay, let's work through hinge back first. As you inhale back, we're going to hold the position that you can maintain, okay? So then we twist just a little bit to the left and bring it back center. If you need to come up, come up. If you want to stay back, twist a little bit to the right. Always keeping that middle of the towel right in front of the heart as you twist from side to side, okay? We also want to make sure that the ribs are pulling down towards the hips. It feels as if there's a corset or a big belt wrapping around your waistline, around your rib cage, and that rib cage is staying knitted in towards the belly, down towards the hips, in towards the spine. Let's do one more to the left. If this feels a little too difficult, you place that towel back down onto your lap, cross the hands across the chest, okay, and then come back up. So that is the modification that moving forward you can take for yourself. If that felt pretty good and pretty challenging, reaching that towel forward, here's your next layer. So now I'm going to show you what it would look like C curve. So in that C curve position, rolling and kind of like pulling the belly button back like there's a fish hook coming up and in, and like you want to push your tailbone away from you. Now we just stay in that C curve or your hinge back and lift the arms up and down. As we lift and lower, you'll notice that the higher you go, the more intense it becomes on your core, okay? If you feel anything in your back, you come up a little higher until you don't feel it in your back, or kind of like reset or cat and cow through the spine. As we lift and lower, you're just keeping everything else like a picture and your arms moving up and down. So remember, we lift up to lower the shoulders down. We want to make sure that the gaze stays forward and your core, your stabilizers are helping to keep this position here. So why do we hold a position? The reason why is because those isometric holds can help to strengthen all the different types of muscle fibers that we have around our trunk, or where our spine is. Last one, up and then down. All right, so now let's come back up, place that towel onto the lap. Woo. Let's inhale, open up the chest and look up. Exhale, round the chin and look down, round the spine and look down. You can tuck the chin, but don't round the chin. Inhale, lift up, do 2 more rounds of that cat and cow. Exhale, rounding, inhale, lifting. Okay. Alrighty. So now from there, let's take an underhand grip onto that towel there. The next layer, so you do not have to do these. Remember, these cues are all optional for you to explore with your body. But the next layer is going to be maybe letting the legs come to the party here. Okay. So it'll either be a leg lift and lower, or you can also slide the legs out and in. Okay. So just even sliding them on the hardwood floor shouldn't give you too much resistance. So here's how it's going to look. From that hinge back position, elbows tucked in tight, spine tall, gaze forward. I'm going to hold a hinge back position that I can maintain here. And now as I twist towards the left side, my left leg reaches away from me, or it comes up towards me. Okay, so those are your options. As you place the leg back down, you turn to look center. As you either straighten the leg out or lift it up, you twist towards the right side. And then you pull that leg back in or you place it back down. You are holding the towel like you're trying to pull it apart, keeping those elbows tight in towards the sides, hugging in towards the rib cage. As we do about 2 to 3 more each side. Okay, can you keep the head back? Imagine you've got a little clementine under your chin onto your chest. And you're not trying to like squeeze any juice out of it or give yourself extra chins here. And you're also not trying to like look up towards the ceiling, otherwise you drop that clementine, but instead just kind of tucking it right there, holding the neck long. One more time to the left. Think about that top of the head pulling up towards the wall and ceiling behind us. Look more and more time to the right and then come back up. Okay, give yourself some shoulder rolls a couple times there. And maybe some body rolls. All right, and then last little one in our C curve is C curve feels right for your body. Okay, so you still got that underhand grip, elbows are tucked in tight towards the side. What this is gonna look like now is you're holding that C curve position, but one arm punches forward and then pulls back in. The other arm will punch forward and pull back in. So you'll remember this from the beginning of the class. Okay, so here's how it looks from the side. We start with a nice tall spine position, feet are flat, pressing down through the four corners of your feet. And then as you exhale, you're kind of tucking that tailbone underneath of you, scooping it forward as your belly button pulls back. Okay, elbows stay tucked in. You're just trying to pull that hand towel apart. And now from there, punch one arm forward and then pull it back in, scraping the rib cage with your elbow. Reach forward, pull back. Punch forward, pull back. Lifting and scooping that belly button up and in. Okay. Keeping that corset or that big belt muscle wrapped around the waistline. Yes, there is a muscle that literally wraps around your waistline. It's called the transverse abdominis. We got about 2 more punches on each side. That transverse abdominis, it helps to pull the belly button in towards the spine. Okay, last one on the right, and then the last one on the left. Lift yourself back up again, nice and tall. Cat and cow through the spine. Give yourself a couple of pats on the back because that last one can be pretty tough to hold that position. Give yourself some body rolls. One direction and the next. Yes. Alrighty. Now I'm just going to slide that rug out back to its original position. Okay, so next from here, we're going to take the towel behind us, okay? Your palms are facing away from you, and you're going to reach down away. So if your chair does have a back behind you, what you can do is kind of scoot your butt as far forward as you can. So when you do lift the towel away from you, you're kind of tapping the back of the chair and then bringing it back down. Okay, so this is a move in Pilates. It's called chest expansion. So the goal here is that as the arms go back, it's like we're opening the collarbones wide as you try to pull that towel apart. And then you bring the towel back in towards the chest, still keeping those collarbones wide. What I don't want to see, or what you don't want to see, is that you're rounding the shoulders forward as those hands go back, compromising your form and actually like putting yourself in a bad position where you may even hurt yourself. Okay, so make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, not popping those ribs forward, but instead that tailbone stays heavy and soft, your neutral spine position. As you inhale the arms away, and then exhale back in, okay? Try that breath where you're inhaling away and exhaling back in. Then maybe try exhaling away and inhaling in. Think about that the more the towel pulls away from the body, the more the belly button pulls in towards the spine. All right, so in 4, we're going to add some rotation, not with the body, but just with the neck. Okay, it's a really nice shoulder stretch. Imagine that those knuckles are trying to reach away from the ears. Last 2, and your arms will stay back behind you. So now on this last one, reaching that towel away, holding it away, pull the shoulders down away from the ears, and take an inhale, look to the left. Hold your breath and look to the right. And then exhale it out, look center. Bring the hands back down. Roll the body forward, kind of into a cat spine position. Feel that stretch through the shoulders and the neck. And then lift the spine back up for one more. This time we look to the right, okay? So if you look to the left, we will be looking to the right, holding the breath and looking to the left, okay? So now from there, stack the spine tall. Push the arms back behind you, pushing the knuckles away from the ears, shoulders down away from the head. Take your exhale. And now as you inhale, look to the right. Hold your breath and look to the left. Exhale it all out and look center. And then bring the hands back in towards the hips. Roll the body down. Still holding onto those towel ends, and try to punch the towel ends down towards the ground, getting that upper back, shoulder, between the shoulder blades stretch. Okay. All right. Now you're going to take that towel underneath of the right leg to start. So you're going to take it underneath of the thigh there, close up towards the knee. I'm going to show you from this side first, since we're starting on that right side. All right, so it's a little bit of like a bicep curl with a hip flexor pull. Okay, so the hip crease right here, if you even like try to lift your leg up, you'll notice that there's like a tendon that pops up in towards your either thumb or finger. Okay, so just kind of be aware of that. That is what is going to help you to pull the leg up. What we want to try to eventually come into awareness of is, can you keep that front of the hip soft and quiet, and maybe pulling the leg up from the deep core instead. Okay, so this muscle will always help you lift the leg, but can you feel maybe the core helping the leg up as well? Okay, so now let's take those tail ends into the hands, towel ends into the hands, and palms up, thumbs out, spine tall, shoulders down. Lift the head, and as you exhale, pull the arms towards the shoulders, and then lower back down. So as you pull the hands towards the shoulders, that helps to lift that leg up off the ground. Your elbows are staying in tight towards the body as you lift and lower, okay? And then you're trying to like not use the arms 110% of the movement, but let it be 50-50. Okay, as you lift that leg up, you're starting the pattern of like, yes, walking, like lifting the leg to step it out in front of you. Okay, as you are lifting the leg, think about now also using the core, the space right between lower and upper body, to help that leg lift, or to even help the arms lift that leg. Okay, so now it's a whole body integration move. Give me about 3 more if you're feeling that connection. Maybe if you're not feeling the connection, give yourself a couple extra minutes, or not minutes, seconds, or reps to maybe feel what it is that I'm talking about. Last one, lift and lower. Okay, and now taking that towel off and across to the other end, okay, or to the other leg. I'm going to turn towards the side there for you. And so now here's a little bit more of a challenge, if you would like to, is that you can hold a hinge or a C-curve position, just making sure that you're still trying to find that length in the spine. And by hinging or C-curving back, you have a little bit more range of motion to go through to lift that leg, to curl the arms, and then you're also holding the body back. Okay, so these are all options. These are all, you do not have to take them. You feel it out, explore. Let this be like a adventure, okay? Adventure time, playtime. Think about when it was last time that you played, really. When was it that you felt curious about your own body? About, can I do this? Yeah, yes I can. Okay, let it be an affirmation. I will do this. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow when you look back at this recording, or when it's uploaded up onto the channel. Okay, give me about 2 more. Keeping the body, the upper body still, as that one leg on the lower body lifts and lower. There's your last one. Okay, now place that towel across the body. Give yourself a couple of opening heart stretches, and then closing off the front of the heart as you open the back. Okay, so now from there, open the arms out to the side like you're going in for a big hug to open across the chest. And then as you exhale, hug that person in towards you and cross the arms. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Maybe if you can remember which arm was on top last time, switch. Inhale, open, 2 more of those. And exhale, cross the arms, taking note of which arm is on top. And this time, like as you lean back, give yourself a little twist and like sway from side to side. Inhale, open, last time. Exhale, give yourself that big hug, opening the back of the body, twist from side to side. Like this is like the first person you've seen since the pandemic, okay? And then lift back up, okay? All right, cat and cow through the spine a couple more times. Maybe give yourself some body rolls. And we'll end these last few moments of class with some stretching. So if you want to place that towel like off to the side so it's not in your lap, we're going to slide your left leg and hip off of the chair, okay? So this is what it looks like from the side, and this is what it looks like from the front. So that left leg has like scoot it off towards the side. Eventually, the reason why is so that when we scoot ourselves off to the side, your right hand can hold onto the chair or a wall or another piece of furniture next to you, but that left leg, I want it to start to walk its way back behind you. So we're basically in a supported lunge position. Okay, you can totally hold on to the back of your chair if that's there available for you. But notice how, like, in this position, I've got a 90-degree bend on that bottom leg and a 90-degree bend on this top leg. So that ideally, maybe, I don't know, maybe, could you, like, take that chair away and you'd still be in the same position. So you don't actually have to take the chair away. Don't take the chair away, sorry. But maybe lifting up off of the chair to feeling how that pressure of your foot down into the ground, you feel that the knee is driving into the ground and you feel that the hip in the front of the left leg is opening up. If you do feel that not only strength that's happening through the butt and the hamstring, but also the stretch that's happening through the front of the body, keep that position, bring your right hand down to the chair, your left arm up and overhead, and reach to the right side and keep trying to drive your left knee down towards the ground. And then as you inhale that arm back up, notice all that space that you just found, and then turn yourself, or don't turn yourself, just scoot yourself off to the right side. So I'm going to show you now from the right side. So it may start off with both feet out in front of you and just your left hip is onto the chair. Your right hip's kind of just hanging out in thin air. And start to walk that leg back behind you to a point that is at 90 or close to 90. The goal here is to open up that front hip, okay? A lot of us who are sitting throughout our days, we need this stretch here, okay? And it might not even, like, you might feel the stretch when the leg is up here. Your body is your body. You have to know it, okay? You're trying to push the foot down into the ground, sink the knee down into the ground, put a lot of pressure into that left foot, and it's almost like you want to slide that right leg back behind you a little bit more so you feel that butt cheek turn on, you feel your hamstring and your quad turn on, and you feel that opening stretch coming up the hip, maybe even up into like the trunk or the torso. Lifting your right arm up, taking that side bend stretch to the left as you drive your right knee even further down towards the ground. Oh, that feels so good. And then lifting back up and then coming back onto both hips onto your chair, okay? Open the legs out wide and then start to slide them side to side. Okay, so we're going to come back into those positions one last time, this time adding that mermaid stretch or that reaching over the body, okay? So here's a quick little preview of how it looks from the front, where the left arm will be up, we will side bend over, and we're trying to reach towards the outside right part of your ankle. So that was a quick setup here. So remember the setup now is that your right hip or cheek is onto the chair, your left leg is trying to walk back behind you, and you're trying to find that alignment from knee to hip to shoulder to head to then left arm reaching up overhead, okay? From there, side bend towards the right and try to drive that left knee down towards the ground. And then as you continue going down, you're reaching towards the outside of your right ankle or right knee or right calf. And then you lift your body back up into that side bend position and then straight up vertical position. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. I hope it did for you guys too. Turn around to the other side or scooch over to the other side. That leg, right leg, will go back behind you. Remember that it's the hip is off of the chair completely. Knee, hip, shoulder, head, arm alignment. Your left hand stays down onto your chair. From there, you're trying to push the foot back behind you, drive the knee down as you side bend your body to the left. Let me show you what it looks like from the front. As you rotate down, okay, you're rotating that right hand to the outside part of your left foot, ankle, leg, and then rotating back up and then coming back up nice and vertical and placing both cheeks back onto the chair. Awesome job, you guys. Okay, last couple of stretches. Roll out those wrists a couple times. Okay, starting to then move the arms into or bringing the arms into the movement. Think about the breaststroke. The arms go out in front, out and around, and you push that water forward out of the way and bring it back out in front of you, okay? As you're doing those wrist rolls and shoulder rolls and also bringing the elbows into it, then we switch directions. So now pull that water in towards the chest. Bring the elbows out to the side and arms up, over, and in front of you. Palms are up, and then they rotate down as you bring the arms forward, okay? As all of that's happening, here's your breaststroke. You can even bring your body into it. It might feel good to roll back, to reach forward and up. These are movements that feel natural to the body. Think about like a wave traveling through the spine. Okay, let's do one more in this direction. Good. And then with those hands down onto the knees, your right hand comes to the left knee and your left hand comes behind you. From the inhale, lifting that puppet string up towards the ceiling or letting it lift you. And as you exhale, twist to look behind you. Inhale, hold this position. Try to lift a little taller. And exhale, twist and wring yourself out like a wet towel. Twisting, twisting, twisting. Then, holding this twist, this is where the challenge comes in. Can you hold this twist, let go of the right hand, hold the twist, let go of the left hand, and then maybe crossing them across the chest or making it more difficult, reaching out to the side, and then twisting your body slow and controlled over to the right with your left hand on the right knee, your right hand back behind you, lifting the spine up tall, exhaling the twist to reach or to look out over that right shoulder. One more inhale, one more exhale. Hold this position. Now from there, hold this position. Can you lift the right hand? Then lift the left hand. We're not untwisting just yet. And then we come back to look center. By coming out of that with the control instead of just like slingshotting ourselves back to center, we allow the body to kind of unravel itself naturally. Alrighty, you guys, that is time for today's Movement Monday. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was so good seeing everyone again. If you have any questions, let me know or ask it in the chat. Otherwise, this will be a recording available on the YouTube NSVN education channel in the next couple of days. Okay? All right, you guys. Thank you so much. See you again next time. Bye-bye.